So we wanted to take a little bit of time to actually talk about insoles as a category, even removing a conversation about Currex and just talking about them as a way for you to make a lot more revenue. So a while back, we sent out a survey just basically asking about your relationship with insoles. A couple of the key questions. One was, are insoles an important part of your business? Yes, no. For those who said yes, they sold about 5 times more insoles than those who said no, at least in terms of a conversion rate.
And that doesn't mean that the people who didn't sell very many don't have them on the wall. It just means they're not, for that customer, they're sitting on the wall, whereas the customer that has a program, they're moving through the product, which of course is the goal.
Totally. The only difference is engagement. It's as simple as, hey, as a part of our fit process, we are going to try one of your shoes on with an insole and one without. That's all that's said. For customers who do something like that, they sell 5 times more insoles. They were less reliant on shoe sales. For those who said no, we don't, focus on insoles. About 80% of their business was shoes, and so only about 20% cross sales. Whereas the folks who said yes, we do focus on insoles or do simply have a conversation about insoles, that went down to about 70 and sometimes below 70%. So less reliant then on shoe sales, and then less reliant on foot traffic because their average ticket is also going up. Some of our owners put it best. We have a quote here: insoles are another way we can differentiate ourselves and enhance our customer experience. We don't force them, but only make all available options known. He goes on to say, and from a business perspective, I view not getting behind footbeds earlier. We've left over $1 million on the table. Regardless, I think it's I think the thing I like the best is, but only to make all available options known, which is something we strive for in the stores every day, to sell the entire running experience. I'm sure this is a conversation that's being had at every Run Specialty store. It's like, we don't just sell shoes, we need to sell our entire store. And so lastly, before we get too long, a couple more things, but one really important to note. One of our customers who does do a very good job at having conversations about insoles, they did sort of a Listen 360 study. So of all their customers, they all got an opportunity to basically respond and do a survey and a review of how the staffer who helped him performed. And what this showed was how strong of a correlation there was between an additional insole sale, so whether that customer walked out with a pair of shoes and an insole or just a pair of shoes. But what they found was the customer was a whole lot more likely to leave a positive review if they bought an insole compared to if they just bought a shoe.
I think this all comes back to just that opportunity to present these options so the customer feels more empowered, and plus you're spending a little bit more time with the customer, which in general I would hope provides a happier, more satisfied experience for your customer in general.
Totally. And I think that's bottom line, was especially in this Listen 360 study, it just showed that when a customer left with an insole, they were happier. They had a better experience. They said, oh wow, not only do I get my running shoes at this store, I also get my insoles there. Again, another layer of technical depth that really separates you from anyone else, right? Even brick and mortar, but what creates, a specialty atmosphere.
So we're going to bring it back to Currex and talk specifically about how you can sell Currex as a product, right? So the first thing I think you need to remember is that selling an insole does not need to be scripted. We're simply delivering the options, letting the customer make their decision. I think as Noah spoke to earlier, it has to be part of the fit process. You need to try an insole with your customer, and then maybe you're trying a tech sock. It's exactly the same thing. One of our customers in that survey actually said to us, the customer wants to ask about the product, whether that's an insole, a nutrition product, whatever it is, they want to ask about it. And they just assume, I think, that you are the expert. And if they need the product, or if it's an option for them, that it might make their run more comfortable, their experience overall better, that you would present that option to them. So that's all we're doing. We're presenting options.
So before we really get into the weeds, we'll end it here, but we would love to continue this conversation in terms of an actual insole program and try to address some of those concerns, because we really think it can be a huge benefit to you all. You gonna say something?
No. I'm not. You did great.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Have a great day.